This is the Pinemen.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pinemen.
There it is. Episode 1.
Yeah.
The origin story.
Yeah, basically. We have a lost
Yeah.
episode, but that's somewhere for if people ever want to find it. I mean, I guess they'll have to do some digging, but hopefully they won't, because I don't know how. I don't
In
even
the
remember
vault.
what's on it.
It's only about 6.5 hours long, though, so it's
Yeah,
a short
true.
one.
Good point. Yeah, that's true. So there might be
But
some
yeah.
value.
I am excited about this.
Yeah, this is something. It's funny because we were just setting it up, obviously. So it's like as if I'm talking to you, like this is something we've been trying to set up for a while now. It's like, yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully
No,
it's smooth. Hopefully everything's good. And
yeah.
yeah.
I think it seems good so far.
Feels cool. Which side should it be on?
Yeah, I'm opening it up on my TV right now, so that's but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So basically, we did it. We made the leap. We've made a podcast.
yeah, it's official. We're YouTubers now.
Yeah. I mean, it's about time.
Yeah, I
It's
guess
about
so.
time.
We're hopefully someday someone watches this and yeah, we'll be like that would be exciting. Hopefully Sean hops in the chat in a little while and we could talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with this, and hopefully building some small bit of community and being able to hang out with people who like similar stuff to us.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like that's what life's about now.
Hell yeah. So yeah, I don't know. What have you been up to? I just talked to you last night for like 5 hours, so we're pretty much caught up. But
yeah. Well, I went to Trader Joe's today and bought a bunch of groceries.
oh, nice.
Just a simple 150 dropping on Trader Joe's groceries.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
How often do you go? Like you buy you keep your apartment steadily stocked with groceries?
And it's a new habit we're trying to build.
Nice.
Usually we just go to the grocery store basically every single day.
Oh yeah. I usually go once a month.
What's your grocery store experience usually like? Do you just try to get in, get out?
Yeah, as quickly as humanly possible. And I hate going with other people because they want to like look around and really feel it out, but usually I go in with like one particular thing in mind that I want to grab, and then I don't know, just I'm like, okay, this is not I made this trip, I really should probably buy more than one thing. So then I just try to figure it out on the fly. Like every single time I buy like multiple vegetables thinking that I'm going to make like, I'm going to make different dishes with them throughout the week in different ways, getting creative and stuff, and hopefully they're still good because they're in the fridge right now, but I haven't seen them in like a week and a half, so hopefully they're fresh.
I know exactly what you mean.
And then I end up eating like peanut butter and jelly instead.
Yeah, frozen pizza.
Yeah, there you go. But
that's my fucking. That's a big one for me. Always fucking DiGiorno pizza.
Yeah.
Obsessed.
I went through a phase where I was doing Totino's pizza rolls like near nightly.
I've been there. Those things are goddamn phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's wild. Like sometimes I look the way that I eat and I'm like, how have I been alive so long?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is a weird realization when you like actually look at it for you think about what you like. You eat that pizza again. You know what I mean? It's like 11 in the morning and you're eating pizza and you're just like, I don't remember the last time I had like regular like a dish with like like some three different types of food on it or
Yeah.
whatever. It's usually just like, all right, I bought pizza, so now I have food for the next like 3-4 days. Like.
Yes, yeah. Oh man, in Brooklyn I used to do that all the time. I'd
Yeah.
buy like just like a large pie and have it last for 4 days or whatever.
Yeah,
Good
pretty
times.
good. I don't mind it. I mean, I think it's like, I don't know. I had like a home cooked meal today, and I don't know. It just doesn't do the same thing. I feel like if I eat like pizza or just like random, whatever, if I order something or if I go pick something up, I'm just more like I'm fuller longer. I'm more satisfied. Like I have more energy. I know it doesn't like
Yeah.
goes against everything that people say, but I think I'm just so in it that like my body has rewired itself to run
Oh,
off it.
I honestly believe that's a thing. Like, it's strange. You hear stories about people, like the classic stories of like the old man who like has been drinking whiskey and smoking cigars his whole life, and he's just
Yeah,
killing it.
yeah,
But like,
exactly.
is that like, is that the outlier case? I mean, I think so.
I would think, yeah.
But I do think there is something to like your body like adapting to garbage.
Well, it's probably called like getting addicted to sugar or something like that, or like what I mean. Like
Yeah. Well, that too.
your body probably just becomes like dependent on those like processed, like breads and things like that. Like,
Yeah. I guess we need an absurd amount of carbohydrates to function. So
do we?
that's what the body is
Oh
saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly.
This is what we need, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, that's my guess. I don't know. That I just came up with 5 seconds ago. So
Yeah. I've been trying to eat healthier lately. Like, my new rule is that if I'm gonna eat pizza, I need to have a side salad at least.
really,
Yeah. So I've been like buying like lettuce and like having lettuce with like a couple of slices of pizza.
so you just have a few slices of pizza and then just like chomp on lettuce out of the bag or
No,
off
I make
the
a
head.
yeah. I get the whole head and I just crack it open.
Yeah, I always found that funny when people eat. They well, it's doing exactly what you're doing, like having a salad with like whatever they eat because they feel like it's gonna make them healthier or whatever. Where it's like, if you just don't eat it, then you
Yeah.
didn't eat more
Yeah.
calories or whatever. I mean, that's like only one way of looking at it, I guess. But
Yeah.
if you're
It's
focused on
funny because
calories,
it's funny because on the back of the box of the DiGiorno pizza, then when they show it like the directions to cook it, and then they say, it basically says serve with the side salad, and it's like a little picture of the pizza with a salad on the side.
oh,
And
okay,
the first time I saw that, I was like, oh my fucking god! I'm like they're trying to act like this pizza's healthy, like they're just like, oh yeah, just have it with the side salad, it's all
yeah,
good.
like everyone
And
would
then
do.
here I am, yeah, here I am, fucking like,
Definitely,
maybe that's a good idea.
definitely not like getting weird and experimental at 2 o'clock in the morning, like cracking an egg over it or something, or like putting hot
Oh
sauce all
god.
over it. That's probably more like what their customer base is doing. That's what
Yeah,
I do anyway. I'm just
I
assuming.
do. You've cracked an egg over a pizza
Not
before?
over a pizza, but
Uh,
I've yeah, I've seen people do that before. Well, I've seen a place that did that, but I forget what it was or where it
that's
was.
interesting. I remember.
I mean, they cook it. It's like a fried egg, and then they like pop the yolk, and then like
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
it could be right. I mean, I don't see why
Yeah,
not.
I definitely do the hot sauce thing. That's incredible. It's the
Yeah,
best.
I did that last night actually.
It's very good.
I took a slice of pizza that was left over. I chopped up some cheddar cheese
Okay.
and drizzled it on top of the pizza that already had cheese on it, obviously, and then had that, and I was like dipping it in hot sauce.
Hell yeah.
So
Was it a like a pizza from a pizza place or was it frozen pizza?
yeah, it was from a place.
Okay, that's awesome. I know that there was one place somewhere that did a like cold cheese on top of the
Oh
hot
yeah,
pizza.
I remember that.
Yeah, that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I think I only had it one time, and it was I don't know. I think it was that type of thing where people hyped it up so much that it became impossible for it to live up to the expectations.
Oh yeah. funnily enough, I actually did not even have it, but I went to that pizza place with some people who ate it, and I was like, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
I'll have to get that sometime. And then I never went there again. Never been inside that place ever again.
Supposedly, the reason they came up with it, I don't know if this is like one of those like urban legend things, but I heard them saying that it was done because that there's like there's like a town with like bars and clubs and things like that
Yeah.
right next, like right nearby, and it was like people would come in like faded and be like eating pizza, and they were like, let's give them this so that they don't burn themselves and they'll just be satisfied and all that.
Yeah. I think I did hear that same story.
Yeah, I don't remember where I saw that because that place was featured on like TV in some way. Like it was on some like, oh,
Yeah.
check out these local destinations and stuff, and they went there. Oh, you know what it was? Oh, it was um Dave Portnoy doing pizza reviews with Barstool Sports. Do you know what that is?
I've heard of Barstool Sports, but I don't know the guy's name.
Yeah, it's I'm not like a huge fan of the, I don't have a huge stance at the moment one way or the other, but there's
Yeah.
that's not, I'm not a big Barstool guy or anything like that. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. But like, whatever, pizza reviews, like I go through phases where I spend a lot of time watching that. I just like binge watch them.
Oh yeah. I fucking YouTube, man.
Yeah.
There's so much to see. People talk about.
There is. It's actually so amazing when you find yourself, like earlier today I found myself in this spot where like there are, I mean, what? There's got to be, I mean, I don't know how many videos there are on YouTube, but there's got to be millions of hours at least, like probably way more than
Yeah.
that. I don't know. There's like so many hours worth of videos, and I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like refreshing. I'm like, come on, show me something good. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like last night, I watched this. I was trying to go to sleep, so I was like, let me put on something that I don't really care about. But naturally, every single time you do that, it ends up being surprisingly interesting. So I saw this. I randomly got recommended this video that was like casino security expert talks about like tactics used in like casino movies, like how realistic they are, how like you would be able to detect it if you were one of the security people or whatever. Damn, that was really good. But I mean, I just watched the one video. It was like 15 minutes long or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't anything crazy. And now every single video that's getting recommended to me is like gambling related. It's like, damn, like good thing I'm not like someone who enjoys gambling. Otherwise, like this would probably like I could be
Oh God.
losing
yeah.
everything in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with when the algorithms work well, sometimes they work too well.
Right? Like it feels like it's like they're basically saying, "Ooh, gambling? He showed a little bit of interest in that. That gets high return." Like we get a lot of engagement when we the people who watch these videos tend to watch a lot of them, and
Yeah.
so they want me to get into gambling. So maybe
I
will.
mean-
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. But
I am not a fan.
yeah, it does nothing for me. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Besides give me stress.
I actually think we talked about that recently.
Oh
But
yeah, we did.
I only. Oh yeah. But I played roulette like one time, and I won on the first one, and then I lost the second one, and I was like, okay, I'm good.
Right, yeah. Every time the only game I've ever played in Atlantic City or whatever is craps, and it's like I don't know, yeah. It's either I win a little bit really quick and I'm just completely satisfied and I'm like I don't want to play anymore. I mean, I just made like $40. What more can I possibly ask for? Or I lose like $40 and then I'm like I need to take a long break. Like I might be done for the
Yeah.
whole weekend or whatever, like
Yeah. I mean, I can see it being like fun to play poker with your friends.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can
if
see
we're
that being
talking
fun.
about like, and if you want to put real money or whatever, if we're talking like worst case scenario, you lose like $20 or something like, or maybe
Yeah.
like to me
Or
even that would be like, not that wouldn't
Yeah.
be a big deal, but like, I don't know, like the money doesn't really add anything. I would feel bad taking it from my friend or whatever, like
Yeah. Well, it'd be fun, like if you like played for long enough, where if you did it like every week and like you basically just like passed around $100 at
Yeah,
each other.
yeah, that could be fun. I mean, yeah, I just
You
don't
know,
really like get anything out of the game. Like, it's just isn't it like just luck mostly? I mean, obviously there's strategy to poker, I think, but
poker, yeah,
yeah, I don't know enough
but
about it to really like obviously have a strong opinion, but
yeah,
you know,
it's interesting. It just plays on the same kind of you know brain pathways that like video games do and
yeah, I guess
action
that is
movies
true.
and stuff. Kind of just like you get excited and then your brain's like, let's keep doing the thing that made us excited.
That's such a good point. Yeah, that's really all
It's fucking
anything is,
wild.
right? Like,
I mean, straight up. Oh, I had an idea for for the for the podcast that I don't know how you feel about it, but I thought of it today. Book club.
book club.
Book club.
I like where you're going with this.
Because I was
Do
thinking like
elaborate.
because back in the day when we were hanging out all the time in the same place,
Right.
we would often read the same books
Yeah.
and then we would talk about them when we would hang out. And it was
Yeah.
probably one of my favorite things ever to do.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, there was like a period of time where you and Sean were both like reading similar things to me, and we would just like always be talking about books.
Yeah, that was fun.
And like I missed that like crazy.
Yeah, I just have to get this stupid test out of the way, and then I'm just gonna be so free after that.
Yeah. No, I feel you. You'll have more time to study at your leisure.
Yeah, exactly.
Study other things.
Right, just do things that not feel guilt about the way I'm spending my time when I should be learning about this.
Yeah.
But yeah, did I actually, I was just talking about that the other day. Did I ever give you back the last thing I borrowed from you was Hocus Pocus. Did I give you that back?
Oh, I don't think so, but that's cool.
Oh,
I
really?
think it's good
So
to-
do I have it then still? Because maybe
I think you have
I'll
it,
just
yeah.
read that and then we can talk about it because well, it's been years for you, right? Since you read it.
It's been years since I've read it. Yeah.
So, we'll see.
Honestly, I think that you should read Notes from Underground.
I would love to because, yeah, I mean,
It's short and it's like I think if you liked Crime and Punishment, I mean I know you like Dostoevsky,
right.
so it's like a short story. It'll get you back into reading because it's really good. Like it's this like man from underground who's like egotistical and like a little bit deranged and like very antisocial, but like also like basically let me describe the scene to you. He at the same time he's like these friends from school that he like goes out to dinner with or something, but he hates them, but he wants their like approval really bad.
Yeah.
So it's just like this weird dynamic where he he's like wants to fight with them, but he also wants them to like him and like see that he's like a genius and all like kind of like recognize his intellect, but also he like is basically like just so combative and like also like depressed and like just like ooh.
That sounds like a very Dostoevsky character.
Yes, and the part that I'm up to now, so basically he has this dinner with his friends. They it's not good.
Right.
They leave to go somewhere else, and he's like, after like this big scene of him like being a dick and then being a dick, he's like, I'm okay, whatever, leave, and they leave, and then he's like, actually I'm gonna go where you're going. He wants to go with them, so he leaves after them, and he goes where he thinks they're going, and they're not there, and he's at a brothel where he thought they would be, and it's just this scene of him talking to this like prostitute after like he like it just cruises over. They're just laying in bed after I guess they sleep together or whatever, and he's just talking to her in such this like he's like talking down to her about like her life choices basically.
Yeah.
In like this long-winded thing, and it's just like I'm like, oh my god, like it's just a good book. It's just a good book.
Yeah, I'll definitely check. I mean, yeah, I like the book club idea, and that would be, just like everything else with this, it would be something to kind of get me back into doing things instead of just thinking about thinking about things but not actually doing the things. Arctic Monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, there's like certain things like in this book particularly, and other books that I've been reading, where I'm like if you were reading it at the same time, I could be like, right,
Yeah,
because it's like
yeah.
difficult kind of to talk about sometimes. Besides just being like, do you
That
see this?
that whole concept is pretty much. I mean, I think we both have this like totally in common. That whole concept is so like it's that feeling that like whenever you see something really enjoyable or whatever, and like you it really affects you and you like it or whatever, you like almost, well, I do this anyway, I almost like fantasize about like, well, yeah, we've talked about this with each other, like the moment where you show it to someone and you're like, right, yeah, like are you like,
Yes.
yeah, I know that could be annoying to some people if like they're not into it, if you're like, isn't it so amazing, but like
Yeah.
we're on the same, you know, we're both interested in it. It's not like I'm like your random friend who like, you know, you're meeting up with me
Yeah.
one day to catch up on old times, and then you're just like, isn't it so interesting how this is this
Yeah.
way? And it's like, I guess, I don't know. Like I was
Yeah.
trying to talk about like the
Baseball.
weather. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
It's funny, like, yeah, I mean, we got lucky that we like really are into we like know each other's things pretty well. So
Yeah.
like generally, if I know the stuff that I like that you will also like, and vice versa. So it's just whether it's a song or a book or whatever, it's like I'm pretty confident that if I think you're gonna like it, you're gonna like it.
Yeah, no, it's
You know?
you're pretty much correct for the most part, almost every time. So yeah, and but like, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. I don't know.
Yeah, but I do think I think a book club type of thing will be cool. You know, maybe in a couple of months or whatever when you finish the test and stuff. To like,
I should be done with it in less than a month. So
cool.
ideally, I'll be done with
Awesome.
it in like 2 weeks. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah,
So yeah, like whether it's Notes from Underground or something else, we'll pick something kind of short. Just like read it, like go like kind of chapter by chapter and just like talk about each thing because I've never really done that before. Besides like in like high school,
yeah, yeah.
and I feel like it'd be really fun to like kind of really go chapter by chapter. You know, like each week, just a
yeah,
chapter.
that would be fun. I didn't even
And
think
then,
of it
like,
that way.
talk about it for like 15 minutes or however long.
Yeah, I love that idea.
For this, and then if people are into it and they want to follow along too, that could be a whole nother thing. That could be
Ooh,
fun.
yeah, that's great.
You know
love
what I
that.
mean?
Did you just come up with that right now, or like you had been thinking about that a little?
I came up with that earlier today. I like woke up with it in my head. I was like,
Oh, cool. Yeah, I was gonna say
That would
'cause
be
this
really
is,
cool.
This is one of I've never heard you suggest that before.
yeah. I mean, there might be stuff already online that does that, and not that it matters, but like, I've never seen it before, and it would be really cool to like go like chapter by chapter with people and like kind of hear their take on stuff and
Oh yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth.
I'm sure people do that, but like it's probably more like a because there's channels dedicated to like books. You know what I mean? I've seen a few
Yeah.
of them, and I mean, actually, to be fair, I haven't seen one that does specifically that, but I'm like positive it exists. Obviously, well,
Same,
I
but
guess,
yeah, I don't know. I've seen a lot of reviews and like people talking about books.
Yeah, true. Actually, that's more like what I've seen.
But I've never seen like a weekly video where they go chapter by chapter through a book with like an audience.
That would be so cool because yeah, like worst case scenario, I mean, it, like oh, that's kind of what I was saying before. Like, just like with everything else that that can come out of this, it's like that would just give a reason to like get involved in something, like just have a reason to be like motivated to really dive into it and think about it rather than just, do it to pass the time or just hope that you get hooked in and you can't stop and then you just want to read it like
Yeah.
more and more and more, like, which is good, obviously, but like, I don't know, it would be cool.
That's the thing too. Like a big part of like doing this even is like, it's good to have some like, what's the word? Like almost like obligation kind of to like stick to the things that you want to do.
Yeah, that's totally true.
Yeah.
Right.
And
yeah.
like whether it's like with us with music or whatever, I feel like it's to like have like, oh, okay, on this day, like I'm gonna talk to Matt and I want to like show him something new, and like not only for him but for me, and it's just cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's tough, man. I mean, like I struggled all through the fucking pandemic and stuff to stay motivated on working on my arts and crafts.
Yeah, no,
You know?
dude, it's like I think everybody obviously experienced that. Like
Yeah.
it's, you know,
And yeah, and even just moving too. It's like it's it's kind of just sitting around, and you're like not really sure what to do anymore.
yeah, no, I mean, I find myself in that position a lot where it's like, because you moved away,
Mm.
but I did not, and
Hmm.
most of my friends did move away. You know what I mean? So we both like kind of quickly became pretty isolated, just
Yeah.
by circumstances, and it's different. Like I don't know, when I had like the band and stuff like that, and people would. I felt like I was like accountable to people. Like I have to like
Yeah.
work on this, and like,
That's
and
that's
then
that's
when we had the band, yeah, like, but when
that's
it's
the word I was
just
looking for
when
before.
the only person you're accountable to is yourself,
Hmm.
obviously, believe it or not, I'm sure you probably noticed this by now. I just kind of gravitate towards just like, nah, I just won't. I'll just do it later. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it just never happens then
Yeah.
until I get
Yeah. I
like
guess
a
that.
brief wave of like motivation where I'm like dedicate myself to something for like a little bit and then totally forget about it afterwards.
Yeah. I feel like it's like not you, but like you know, when you don't need to do things, you're just like, oh, I'll wait for like the perfect
Oh yeah,
time
yeah, for
to do
sure.
it. Like it'll
Yes.
come. Like when like no one's around, and I'm like feeling like in a really good mood, and I have like the perfect amount of caffeine in me, and like I'm like and I have like a really good idea too at the same
Yeah.
time,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I'll pick the guitar up and like write a song.
It's always
But
like
but
that.
but that's not today. So
Man,
today
I've
I'll
been
just sit
waiting.
and
I've been waiting for that
play video
moment
games for
for
hours.
years, man.
It's
It's gonna come soon. I can feel it.
hmm I know it's so funny because it really feels like that. Like
Yeah, that
so
moment
like
where you wake up at the right time. You got the best night's sleep ever.
yeah,
Like,
perfect night's sleep.
yeah, every part of your body just feels totally normal and like good, and you're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
you just happened to
Every
you
part of your body feels totally
yeah.
normal.
Oh, okay, maybe that's just more particular to me. That like,
No, I know what you mean, and it's just so funny to hear it.
yeah, like, there's always something where you're like, like, I don't know. I ate pizza with hot sauce last night. My stomach,
Yeah.
the acid reflux is just a little too much for me today, so I gotta kind of like call it. It's like
Yeah.
it's 10 a.m. I'm done. Like pretty
Yeah.
much, like
Today's gonna be a just a lounge day.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. And then that happens for like 2 weeks straight, and
months.
yeah, yeah, months. Let's be real.
But yeah, I mean, even like just talking to you more, and like since I put the album out, I've just been
Yeah.
like way more excited to like work on music. Like I feel like I've been trying to do like a song like pretty much every week, if not like every other week, and like hopefully I just keep working and being able to finish stuff.
Yeah, it's been really good so far from what I've heard, and I think I've heard pretty much, all the stuff that
You've heard
you've
all
come
the
out with. Yeah, so
yeah.
I love it. I think it's elevated. I said this yesterday, but I think you have elevated the songwriting to a
I
level that
appreciate it.
just,
Yeah, I feel the same way.
yeah, it just feels so good. The
Yeah,
the
that new
lyrical
one, man.
content. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that new one. I really I've been listening. When you make a new song, do you listen to it nonstop?
Oh, of course.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure I'm not insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically have listened to it nonstop, and I'm just like, yeah, I think this is. But also like that guitar riff, I can't help but
Yeah.
think like, did I copy this? Is this just something else, or is it like just simple enough where it's
I don't think you copied it. I don't.
okay?
It
Cool.
didn't. When I heard it, it didn't sound like, oh, this reminds me a lot of this. It reminded me of
Okay.
a vibe, but like not like
Yeah.
one band or one song or anything like that.
Yeah. It really reminds me of that band, The Oregon.
Oh
That
yeah, I
guitar
could
riff
see that.
specifically.
Like yeah, I thought
But I'm like,
like
is that just one of their riffs? Did I steal it?
right like Yeah, I don't think it is though. I mean,
Okay, cool.
it didn't at all like just set off any like alarms in my head like, oh, it's that, you know.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
no,
love that.
yeah, it's been fun making songs again. And like I told you yesterday, gonna just try to get out there and start doing open mics again because I feel like it'll be funny.
Yeah, it'll be fun and cool probably.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that's something that like when I first, you know, well, whatever. It's kind of weird that, obviously you know this, but like
The viewers
we
don't.
were friends. Yeah, yeah. The fans don't know yet. So just to clarify, yeah, like no, I'm just kidding. But basically, when we were friends in high school, then like obviously there was like you became friends with like some other people and started doing like your own thing while I was doing my own thing, and then like the time where we started to become really good friends, like, and which started like the real friendship that was like
Yeah.
that was I remember like I heard that you were doing that, and I found it like at the time to be like the most like I was just like, how did he get to that point? Like how did he get the motivation and just like the confidence and like the just willingness to just like throw caution to the wind and just go out there and be like, what's up, it's Eric.
Yeah.
Here I am. Like, and just
Yeah.
play open mics. Like no one there showed up because they like your music. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
unless they did, like maybe you invited some friends, but like,
I remember the first open mic I ever played. It was so fun. It was like in some random bar, and it was like it was me and Mike, and we were hanging out with these two girls. I don't really remember why, but they were like, "Oh yeah, there's this open mic. If you guys should play it, it's tonight. Like, come and play it." And at first we were like, "Are we ready? Like, are we ready to play an open mic?"
yeah,
And we both were like, "Sure, let's try it out." So I didn't even have anything with me. We were like hanging out in a parking lot. This is like back like very early like college time,
yeah,
and uh, so we like went to Mike's house and picked up like a few drums because he was playing drums for me at the time.
yeah.
And I think we just brought snare, floor tom, and like fucking the hi hat. I think that's about it.
Well, yeah, I know you
And
guys always had the minimal drum sets.
yeah, and then yeah, I didn't even bring my guitar with me. I don't think because oh no, I think I did bring it, but I ended up using the one there because I had like the jack
Oh,
to plug the acoustic guitar in
oh,
to the
okay.
PA. Yeah, and oh man, it was great. We played for so long at an open mic night because the people kept being like, keep playing, keep
Oh,
playing, keep
really?
playing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was like the best first like show because like I mean we played like backyard shows and like shows for our friends and stuff before that. But
Yeah,
it was the first time we were really like out there playing,
yeah,
and it was like the best feeling because like it was like a bunch of like drunk people who were like older than us, but not like they were probably like our age now.
yeah. That makes sense.
It wasn't like middle-aged people who were just like wasted and clapping. They were like really hyped, and so I felt like we played all of the songs that we knew how to play.
Like covers and everything thrown in there, or
We didn't do very many covers, but like all the songs that like I wrote that I played with Mike.
oh, nice. That
So it
must
was
be
like
awesome. So you're just anonymous. You're playing to strangers, just like
yeah,
songs that you at that up until that point didn't even really know that you would ever perform in front of strangers until that like very shortly before that like
literally that day.
oh that
'Cause,
day,
well,
yeah, right,
I
right.
mean we like dreamed obviously about like, oh, let's get shows soon maybe and like
Yeah,
figure this out because we would just play in his garage all the time and like you know just chill and just like jam just the whole day all the time. And then yeah, after that like we finished and we were like I'm like that was all the songs that I know, I'm done.
that's
And
awesome.
we got off and like then everyone was like kind of like not everybody, it was like the crowd gathered around us and we're like can we have autographs?
Yeah.
But like a few people were like, oh, that was so cool. Like what are you guys called? And at the time, the band was Cool, Booze, and the Beans.
Oh, that was that one? Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that, and they're like obviously saying what?
Yeah.
Because I'm like Cool, Booze, and the Beans, just like saying it straight.
Uh-huh.
So there was that, and then like people were like, oh, like I want to follow you on like Facebook, because this is like I think before Instagram and stuff came out.
Yeah, right? When would that
Or
be?
like
2010?
I graduated. Yeah, it would have been 2010, 2011.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, time flies. Damn,
Yeah,
that's
that
10
is
years
crazy,
ago.
right?
That's 10 years ago.
It's almost 12 years ago.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
God damn. But yeah, but that was fun. We didn't play many open mics, just me and Mike. But when we started playing with Tim, there was this one like little bar by us, by where we grew up, that we do open mic nights on one weekday or whatever, and we used to go and bring the kid and everything, and we would, once again, it was always dead in there, but it was super fun. We probably went like, like maybe like 3 or 4 weeks in a row, and we would just show up, and like the guys like knew us by the second week, and we would just like play like our songs for a while, and it was just like an old man bar basically, and so people were just like chilling, and they were down. We weren't playing like anything crazy. We were playing Ivory Tongue stuff at the time with Tim.
That's awesome.
So it was like mellow, like fun music.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that at some point. It's just like I'm at the point where I don't know, it just feels like, well, actually, as I'm thinking about it, I'm realizing that what I was about to say is not true. I was going to say, like, it feels like the barrier to entry is like, so difficult to get through or whatever. It's like, but at the end of the day, I mean, what exactly are we talking about? You guys just like jammed randomly in Mike's garage, and then we're like, okay, let's do it, whatever. You know what I mean? How hard is it? Not how hard is it. I just mean like how unrealistic is it? Not very, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I would recommend like look up some, if you're really interested in it. Just like look up some open mics and like by you, and just go to them like without the idea of playing, and just see what it's like.
yeah, good idea.
And then like most likely you'll feel pretty secure in playing.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, I mean, like people are good. Obviously people are decent songwriters, but they're not like, most likely you're not gonna be like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Like they like blow me out of the water. Like there's no way I can play. Like it can like go on the same stage as them. It's just like regular people. Sometimes there's like, like a middle-aged man who's like been like working on songs forever, and he's like pretty good at guitar, but like his songs aren't that great.
Yeah.
I see that a lot. And then there's like some young guy who wants to read poetry, and then most of the time there's like someone who wants to do a little bit of stand-up.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah,
Wait, so
that
open
happens.
mics are not just like all music?
It depends
in your
where you
experience?
go. A lot of the ones that I've gone to have been a mixture. You basically you have like 5 minutes.
Oh.
Is like what it is. It's like most of the ones that I've gone to, but I mean like the ones around where we were, or the ones that we played, they were very free form. Like, the first one I was talking about, where they kept telling us to play, I think we were the last ones to go up, so they were down to like let it keep going, and like they were excited about us just playing, because we were playing with a kid and everything. So,
yeah.
And then like the other one that we went to like weekly for a little while, there was just no one really there. So basically it was just like the two guys that ran it would play,
Yeah.
and then they would let us play.
Damn, that's awesome.
So it was just like basically a free show,
And
yeah. Go ahead.
no, nothing.
Yeah, but there was like the one, I played at the Cup.
Oh, okay. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say where
Yeah,
was it?
go to that one. Check that one out.
You know what's weird?
because-
The only open mic I've ever seen, well, I'm assuming it was an open mic because I don't know. I just assumed that at the time was at the Cup, but it was unplanned. Like I just went for no reason, and there was just there were just people doing like acoustic sets and stuff, short ones.
Yeah, I recommend going there and just check it out. I played one there, only once, but It was fun. That was very. It was more like classic. Like that's like it has the real feel of an open mic. It's like you have like 5 minutes. You play like two songs,
Yeah. So
and
you
it's
just
cool
played like two acoustic songs by yourself completely.
at the Cup. Yeah,
Wow.
I
And
think
what did,
maybe
what did you have
maybe
to do?
three. You
Was
go
was your guitar
open mics.
amped or anything?
If you don't have if you just have an acoustic guitar, you can use a microphone.
Oh, okay.
If you have an acoustic guitar with a jack, usually they'll plug it into the PA. Some open mics have amps. That's why I say go check it out first, like
Yeah.
the week before you want to try to play, and get a feel for what they have there, so you can kind of feel, is it going to be acoustic guitar only, or is it going to be like, can I bring my electric guitar and get away with it, or what?
Yeah. No, yeah, at a place like the Cup, I would want to do it acoustic if I were to ever do that. I don't know. That's like something I've never done before. Just like me myself performing acoustic in front of people.
It's it's a cool experience.
Yeah, I've done it one time, but it was like not at all like in that setting. It was just like when we had the party at Brian's that in the basement, the first one that you were at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. At the end, I just did it because we played with like the full band, and then later on I was doing that. But that was like, I don't know. That was just like all my friends. So it was like, and I felt weird, and it was like funny. I don't know. I was kind of kidding, like not kidding, but like it was
Yeah,
like for the just to like goof around and have everybody sing along with like obvious songs. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like
Oh, you play
yeah,
covers.
yeah, yeah. It was 100% covered. Yeah.
It's just I like that feeling of like being nervous before you're doing something.
Uh,
Like I get like I don't love it. Obviously, it's like sometimes you feel like you're like, whoo, and you get a little shaky in the hands. But like I don't know if you feel the same way as I do. But usually, like that feeling kind of ends as soon as you're up, like starting.
definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the
and
second.
I like that like fun.
Yeah, like yeah, that is true. That's a good point. Yeah, I would feel
'Cause
that way, and also like having that. Well, I guess that's another part of it. Like having a band, I would just like I would feel nervous or whatever, and then I would just like go outside and like joke around with Kevin or Ryan, and just like I don't know. Then I'm just like, all right, we got this. We got this. All right, no problem.
Exactly.
But if I was alone completely, I could see a scenario where it's like, you know, okay, next up is Matthew, and here he is, and then you see like some guy. They're like, where is he? And they look out the window and they see some guy sprinting away, like in the distance, like running down the street. With like the guitar on the back, just like looking back, like I could see that.
Yeah, that's a reasonable response.
Yeah,
It's funny. I mean, like, yeah, I played one open mic here, really, and it was fun. I mean, it was at a like a bar that was by Cheyenne's old job, and like I went like 1 week before that, and like or maybe twice before that, and was just kind of hanging out, like watching, and it was pretty good. Like the people were actually, it was good.
this was in New
And so,
York, or
no, here,
oh, sorry, yeah, I was zoned out for a second.
yeah, and yeah, and then I went like another week, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and do it. I brought my guitar, and I don't have a case for my acoustic guitar here, so I just put it in a pillowcase.
Oh my god.
To put it in a pillowcase, and then I got on the bus, went over there just alone, and I was like, ooh, I was nervous because I was completely by myself. Usually, like I have like a friend that's like there
Yeah,
at least, and it was cool. I mean, like I made friends with some of the people there, which was nice, and then like I think I played 3 songs, and like people were like after the songs they were like, oh, like getting a little bit hyped.
yeah.
Or like they one guy like commented on the lyrics, like he was
Oh
like,
really?
oh, or I forget which song it was or whatever, but he was like, oh yeah, that's how it is, or some shit like that.
Really? I mean, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's like a
like
good compliment in my opinion.
yeah,
You
and I
know?
was like, yeah, I felt really good. And then like honestly, really really soon after that, COVID happened and like completely discouraged me.
Oh, this was like, well, oh my God, that's sad. I was about to say, oh, so it was really recently, but like that was 2 years ago, probably, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, then once COVID happened, I kind of just like it took me a little while once I moved to like start feeling comfy. Completely, just like I didn't. Where's the spots? Where do I like? Where's the cool spot? Where should I go hang out?
Yeah.
Because like in Brooklyn, like I lived there for 6 years, and like it took me a little while to figure out exactly where I wanted to be. You know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, but not, you spent many years like having the spots figured out though, you know what I mean? What do you mean? It took like weeks or months or something like?
Well, no, I mean like no, it took like I would go around with other people and do things, but I didn't know exactly like what places I wanted to just that's my spot where I want to hang out.
Yeah.
Probably until like maybe 2 years into it. But I had like different
Really?
spots for different things. But like when I was living alone, that's when I was really like, okay, when I'm bored by myself, where am I gonna go?
Oh, okay.
So it took me a little while to just be like, where am I gonna go by myself?
Oh,
To,
so it was like
meet
an
people and,
ongoing
like,
thing.
Yeah,
Because
and it
living alone
changed,
was
too.
at the end of it.
Yeah, I had spots before that.
And
for
some of them
different all different
closed and
stuff.
stuff, right? So
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they changed. And like when I was playing with Polka Dot Dress, we had like venues that we liked playing at, and we found those, and then we would like play there pretty often. And then like, then certain places closed down or like whatever. So it just like always kind of changes. But it feels nice when you're like, oh, okay, like the atmosphere here is right. The kind of people that are hanging out here seem like they're like close enough, or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it feels like pretty good.
Yeah, for sure.
Like people are gonna get what I'm doing at least.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, sometimes, especially, sometimes you just, I hate to be judgmental like this, but there's no other way to describe it besides straight up judging people. But, sometimes, and I don't mean like I'm judging, okay, let's be honest, pretty much what I'm talking about is there's a lot of places where you just get the bad vibe right away. When it's like, I mean, it feels weird to just like describe this, but like, I don't know. Sometimes you just get the feeling that well, all right, I'm trying to like phrase this in a way that's not like ridiculous, but I don't know. You just get a good feeling sometimes that like the people here probably, let's just say I'm not 100%. I have a pretty good idea where they may have been on January 6th or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's all too common sometimes. And I mean, that's a no-brainer. That's just like a automatic nope kind of, but like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cause like in Brooklyn, I don't know. I would always be with you. So, I mean, I pretty much never experienced anything quite like that, except for actually, remember that one time when, what were we doing specifically? Oh, it was like a Rangers game was playing or something, and Sam really wanted to watch it. So we were skating by like this area that I don't know how to describe it. It was like, there was like, I don't know, what stuck out to me is that there was actually like major corporation. Like I think there was a McDonald's and like I don't know, but the bar was like not that there's no McDonald's over there. I mean, but I'm just saying it was like there were a few things. There might have been like a Home Depot nearby or something.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Well,
it was like a sports bar, but like it was like very like I think one guy got like a little aggressive with Sam or something like that.
Was it in Greenpoint?
I think I don't really remember. We only went there once ever, and it was just for one day. Like
I remember Sam wanting to watch a Rangers game, but I don't remember if this is a story that you've told me or if I was there for it.
You were there for it.
Okay.
We were trying to
Because
like.
there's one McDonald's in Greenpoint.
Okay. Maybe it wasn't
So
McDonald's. I forget what it was. I just remember thinking like this is unusual. Like this area, this little like corner is a little different than like a lot of the stuff like just a few blocks away or whatever. Like that's what it felt like to me. And we were trying to like ollie over a like you know, like the thing that separates the road from like the non-road, like, you know, that barricade that like comes up about
Yeah.
like 3 feet high or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
and we
Oh.
and it was like an
Was it
old
was it
school.
wood?
What?
Was it made out of wood?
Yes, I was literally gonna say it was like an old school
Yeah.
bar. Everything was wooden, like
It was by that Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Okay, see that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
there was something
I know.
about it that was
Yes.
like different. Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about now. I don't remember the bar that well, but I remember. I actually think that you guys were there. I think I met up with you out. Like, you went over there to go to a bar to watch the game with Sam, and I think I met up with you a little bit later.
That wouldn't
Maybe.
surprise me. Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't remember sitting in a bar watching the game at all.
We never did. Sam went inside and we were just outside like the whole time. We went inside
Okay,
like
never mind.
we would go
Yep.
in like I think we went in like once or twice to grab a beer, but like that was
Yep.
it. Like
I remember exactly now. Now I remember.
yeah.
Yeah, we were just like just chilling in like a very industrial area. Just
Yeah,
sitting
it was
on curbs and,
industrial,
like,
definitely, yeah.
doing kick flips.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, just failing at ollieing over a barricade thingy.
I remember this perfectly now. Yeah, that was a weird area.
Yeah, right? Okay, I'm not crazy then.
Yeah,
But,
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Where was I going with that? Oh, I guess just the idea that like that was a, you know.
Oh, places where you wouldn't want to play. Open
Right, the
mic.
people inside of there were a little. I just remember like someone got a little aggressive or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
I think there was like, oh no, I think it was just like there was one customer, and it was like an old guy like sitting in a chair just like yelling at the TV. But like, I think the bartender was like a really really nice woman. So I don't know. I guess it was mixed.
Yeah.
And then there was Sam getting.
Yeah.
I don't
Good
know,
old
for some
fashioned.
reason getting passionate. Well, you know, not that I'm hating on it, but getting really, really passionate about the Ranger game, man. I mean, he's a fan.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. Do you still watch baseball?
No. I
Yeah.
am the worst fan of every sport because I don't see it as like I need to show my loyalty to this team. I see it as like, yeah, I'll be there when when we're on the same page. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just saying like, oh, if this team starts losing, I lose all interest. It's just like, with the Mets, for example, it's like, there's only so many terrible decisions that can be made, and you can only screw over the players, like, and like try to be like shady and try to like, just make bad decisions so many times for like, before I'm like, let me know when you guys get your shit together, and then I'm on board again. But until then, I'm not going to just torture myself and just watch you do shit that I hate,
Oh God. Yeah. I've never really gotten into sports too much. That's why I was kind of wondering if you still watch.
Yeah, no, I haven't in several years. Like, consistently. I'll randomly watch a little bit sometimes, or like, I'll randomly watch football for like, if it's on and I just happen to see it, like you turn on the TV and it's like, oh, it's on. All right. I mean, I'll be like, oh, who's playing? Okay. And sometimes I get caught up watching it for like a little longer than I would expect, but I don't follow it at all. Like,
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of times where I've like been in a bar and been like enjoying like watching football. Like just like, but I don't have any teams. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But it's fun to like, be like, oh, there you go. Oh.
Yeah, sometimes the
You
atmosphere
got it.
itself is just exciting. Like one time, me and Io went to Philly for some reason. I forget why. Why were we there? I don't even remember. But we went to this random bar, and it was like this, like, I don't know. It was some. I forget what team it was. It was college football. I think it was like Pittsburgh, or like a Pittsburgh team or something like that, versus Syracuse. I remember that because it was like, in my mind I was like, oh, it's a New York team technically. I mean, I guess I hope they win. But then I wasn't saying anything. Like I wasn't thinking anything. Like I wasn't like, come on, let's go, like, or anything like that. But it's a good thing because the people in there were getting absolutely fucking insane about it. Like there were a lot of grown men screaming at the top of their lungs over a college team. I mean, I'm not making any judgment or anything. It was just like a funny thing, like like
Yeah, it's so I don't know. I've always found it mildly baffling. I mean, I can compare it to like what you can compare it to politics. You can compare it to music. What else can you compare it to?
uh, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, politics is probably the most relevant thing. Like,
Yeah, right. I mean, my closest relation where I'm like really hyped on something is like a band or something, but like it's not the same thing.
yeah, actually, you
You
know
very
what? People
rarely are
do.
like hoping one band does better than another band.
It relates to basically everything at this point. I mean, you even see like I don't know, you watch like Twitch. You ever go on there and like watch like there are
Very
people
rarely.
who will be like, "That's my streamer." Yeah, like you know what I mean, and they're like they think it's like, I mean, people talk about this all the time with the parasocial relationships and stuff like that and the harm that it does to people and
Explain the definition of that word.
So, it's the idea that like it's like a one-way relationship basically. Like it's like the streamer, obviously you get it. Like the streamer is like, "Hey, what's up, guys? Like, yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for the support. Yeah, man. Like, we're a family. You know what I mean?" And then they're just like, "All right, peace," and then they go on with their day. Whereas, like, some of these people are seriously like, "I would do anything for him. He's like, he gets me. He's so me. You know what I mean? Like, that's. I think
Yeah,
that's a big part of it. It's like, oh my god, he's so me. Like, we get it. You know what I mean? Me and
yeah,
him, we just get it. But it's like this guy doesn't know who you are, and you think about him all the time. Him or her, whatever. Like,
yeah.
but yeah, so it's kind of
It is.
weird.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I mean, like, I obviously like I don't know. I've never had that exact feeling, but like you get comfort from certain people that you watch on YouTube or whatever, or you get like from bands and stuff. Like you feel like, oh, like this singer or like the guy who writes these songs really, really, relate to him so much. I feel like I get it,
Oh
but I don't
yeah,
necessarily. It's so interesting because it's like you hear people talk about it too. Like there are people who really like feel like they're friends with me, talking about like they're like fans or whatever, and then like they come up to me in the street, and it's like I get it. Like
whose
usually like you
point of
know
view
me,
are
but
you
I
speaking from right now?
from the streamer or the
Oh right,
YouTuber
right,
or
right, yeah,
whatever, or like political whatever person of
yeah, 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 yeah. In the public
popular
eye,
person.
yeah. Like,
Yeah, and it's like people come up to me feeling like that we're friends, and I get it, but like I've never seen you or I don't know you at all.
yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about that, and I can understand. Not that I've been there, but I'm just saying, like, it is weird. Like, yeah, like with bands or people that I watch online or anything like that, or just anybody. I don't know. It's like, but then again, I'm also not a kid. Like, but
Yeah,
when I see it, I take it as like, ooh, I like what that person's doing. Like, yeah, I relate to them, but like, I obviously understand that it's like I relate to the way they do the show or the way that they
yeah,
present themselves within the band. Like I love like obviously anybody, like we talk about this stuff a lot. Like it's like it kind of relates the same way. Like the guy who is in the band and he's super cool and he's got the you know
thing.
the like most like I don't give a fuck attitude. I'm just a fucking man. You know what I mean? Like whatever. It's like sometimes you pee and then a little bit gets in your underwear. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
sometimes you like, I don't know. Like
yeah,
sometimes I don't know. Like come on, you're just some guy. Like what are we doing
yeah,
here? Like
yeah.
it's
There
weird
are
because we like you probably wouldn't be surprised that I would use a phrase like that, but like I realized that would sound weird if people like totally out of context. But yeah, you get what
it
I
makes sense.
mean.
Well, yeah, it's like
What
you've been sad before about stuff,
right,
and like
exactly. Like you've
like
probably like you know, disappointed women or something. You
mhm.
know what I mean? Like not,
Yeah,
you've probably been the joke at like a girl's hangout. You know what I mean? Like, come on, let's not act like you're like with the sunglasses, like come on.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
mean,
such a funny thing.
yeah.
Yeah, man. Perspective. It's all about perspective.
Yeah. I mean,
Really
but then
interesting.
again, obviously once again, I'm not a kid and I'm also not like 22 years old thinking that like oh man someday that's gonna be me, yeah, like I'm gonna have my glow up and then I'm gonna be
Yeah,
like I'm gonna be finally like awesome. It's like I've been beat down by life too much to have any belief that that will ever happen. No, I'm kind of kidding, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I know. It's so interesting though, because it's good to. I mean, it's good. It's good and bad. Idolizing people is good and bad. It can be very healthy, and it can be very not healthy.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good point. It's like, I mean, seeing it as an inspirational person who you like respect their, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like a lot of this stuff is so obvious that it's like almost weird to even have to point out, but it's like if you're appreciating someone like that, it's like you're appreciating the work they do, you know what I mean? Like their talent and their like ability to, you're connecting on that level. Like you have to really be either a kid or like kind of lost in the sauce if you're thinking that because you know, I don't know, just because you consume the product that they offer, you now like have a deep understanding of their like personality, like like deep down
Yeah.
inside. Like you never saw this person cry. You never saw this
Yeah.
person like have an argument with their mom or like, like have a breakup or, do something really
Yeah.
bad that they're ashamed of, I mean, maybe you
Yeah, for
have a
sure.
little bit, but it's not the same.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting. Yeah, because it's like a one-way relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
You're only seeing what the person wants you to see, and you know
Yeah, for sure.
you get to have all of your own illusions in your head of like who they are, and how cool they actually are, and how like you know smart they must be, and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, exactly. And it's always got to be, it's always the peak, even if they do something obviously dumb, it's like, well, there's a justification for that,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
then,
they're only human
yeah,
though. I
right.
know,
And that makes
obviously
them
know they're
even
only
more
human.
relatable, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's funny.
that's why we're
I
the
mean,
same.
culture, man, it's so strange. And I mean, all this stuff I feel like, plays off of our like kind of tribal brain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's like I don't even know how far that goes, but it's got to be. I mean, I think it's pretty much just permeating throughout everything, like
Yeah, big time.
you just want to find people that just, and it's kind of like you said before. I don't even know if this was on stream or off, but like on stream. Wow, look at me saying that stuff.
We're here. We're
Like
doing it.
it's like you said, like what was it? You said tribal. I forget what I was saying. I don't know. I'm a little distracted because like I was gonna say we're it's been like approximately an hour. You want to take a little break and then we can.
I was literally just thinking the same thing. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Maybe I'll remember what I was gonna say. Maybe not, but whatever. Okay,
cool.
so we'll
Let's
throw
take
it
a
to
couple of
break with
minutes.
our nice little overlay. Let's hopefully it's nice and smooth. So
See you
yeah,
in a minute.
hang in there. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back.
And we're back. Yeah,
Um,
my brother just texted me. He's watching it, and he was saying that I was like, how's it looking? And he was like, looks good. There isn't any audio desync going on. That must have been something that happened after posting from the last the real episode one was a little
yeah, yeah.
messy. Yeah, he says audio is clear and video is pretty good. No dead air. So he said he's liking it.
Nice. Okay, good. Wow.
So at least we have one person that is enjoying it. So hopefully,
Wow.
hopefully
That's
hopefully,
one more than I was counting on. So.
Yeah.
Well, no, I knew Sean would appreciate it. So.
Yeah. No, Sean's a good fan.
And he'll be featured. We've talked about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That'll definitely happen. We have a couple of people we would want to like talk to for a while.
Yeah, definitely. Like, oh yeah, I was thinking just a second ago, like, it's kind of funny because we didn't, like, it's funny how this is so just, nothing is planned, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're just totally winging it, like, you know, these overlays, like, I thought it was cool that it's like, you know, we just threw that together like 20 minutes before we started doing this right now. Like, you know.
Yeah. And it'll only get better and more fun.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was even thinking like I don't know how because we kind of went like the I don't know, whatever. Some people put like a countdown thing in the like during the breaks. It'll show like, you know, 5 minutes and then it'll like count down, so it's like I don't know, but no one's watching this live, so it doesn't matter. You know.
Yeah, no, if people start tuning in, then we'll definitely take more consideration to
Yeah.
letting people know what's going on, so they're not waiting for a half hour.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's disappointed at this point. No one even knows this exists.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, it's
But yeah,
just
we were talking-
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that like this will be like ideally, my ideal situation for this is that it becomes like a fun space, not only for me and you to like kind of have like a more like streamlined conversation, but also to have like the ability for other people to be engaged with
Oh yeah.
us,
I mean, that's
and to just like kind of, you know, it'd be dope if there was like just a few people who wanted to like chill with us and talk, and like also like if people do find this, we are hoping that there'll be like, you know, some dialogue back and forth and like,
Oh yeah. Like if
you know, two-way communication for real.
if anyone actually does ever see this, tune in cuz we'll engage with you for sure. You know.
Yeah, straight. I know we were just talking about how people on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever are
Yeah, good point.
actually fully disengaged from their audience, but we actually don't want to be. At least not if it is a reasonable amount of people to engage with.
Yeah, no, totally. And I don't think anyone's going to be watching this being like, "Oh my god, like they're so me. I'm going to go like, you know,
Yeah.
base my personality around them or something like that." You know, like I'm
Yeah.
talking just as peers, you know.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
just be fun to talk to
exactly.
people, you know.
And if anyone's interested in the book club too, that'd
Oh,
be
that
super
would
fun.
be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. And like if anybody sees this and wants to leave a comment or something, we have a Discord and you guys can hop in there. That'd be sick.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll set that up so that, you know, other
There's like
people
a-
can
yeah.
join and just chat. I don't even know. Like it would just be fun, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Cuz yeah, and it'll be cool. I mean, you could just post music on there and stuff and it would just be a cool thing.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. That was by the way, I just want to mention that song that you heard during that pause, you know, the be right back sequence was my the day I got my laptop, my MacBook, which was I don't even know when was that, like I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Yeah, 2 weeks
Maybe
ago,
like
I think.
3, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just testing out the stuff, so I made that, and it reminded me of like like a spooky dungeon that you would enter in like a PlayStation 1 game or something.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes,
like
yes. I love that. Like, it's like, yeah, it has like that bit, like,
yeah, right.
like crushed bits. I
Yeah,
don't know
exactly.
what
It
the
sounds
terminology
yeah,
exactly for it is.
yeah.
It's really very, very cool.
It's fun. And then since then, I've done a grand total of 0 other things. That was made one session, not not completed. That's why it just plays the same thing for like it like changes parts for like the first minute, and then like the next 2/3 are just like the same thing looped over and over and over again. But that's
It works. It definitely works for a pause menu.
yeah, I like it. And yeah, and I just want to also say the just because I'm proud of you, the that little intro was also made by you, Eric, and
Yes.
it sounds
Yeah.
so cool. I just love the
Yeah.
like bizarre echoey, like, you know what I mean? It's like
This
pine,
is the
pine,
Pinemen.
pine, pine, pine. However it goes, like it just sounds
You
so
know what
cool.
is? When I was making that, was reminded of Stephen Michaels.
Oh, okay, I could see that. Yeah,
Because I remember being in Matt B's room after we filmed that, and I was like, we need like a little intro song, and we like made it on his computer. I'm almost 100% positive that yeah, we made it on his computer, and we literally just like threw like samples together,
was it on
from like the pre.
GarageBand?
Yeah,
Oh, because he
early
had that
GarageBand.
Mac. What do they call
Yeah,
that? The
iMac.
iMac. Yeah.
Yeah, and we like just threw it together on there, and like, I it was just like one take for my lyrics and then one take for his lyrics,
Yeah, that's
and it's
cool.
just funny. Like I think that I think that like realistically that was like the first song I ever wrote was the Stephen Michaels intro.
Really?
Kinda, yeah, kinda, definitely. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
like I
because that was high
definitely,
school, right? I mean, that was like,
yeah, that was high school. That was senior year, I think, for me, or end of 11th grade, somewhere between, or something like
yeah,
that.
that's awesome.
But yeah, it's funny. I mean, I made up songs all the time when I first started learning guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But like they weren't lyrics. It was just like I would play power chords in different orders.
Yeah. We've all been there.
And I'd be like, "Yo, grandma, check this out." She's like,
That's a
"Wow,
funny
that's really
memory.
good."
Oh my
Yeah,
God, like going downstairs and just being like, Mom, check it out. And you just play like
yeah.
a little like the intro of One by Metallica. That was definitely one where I was like, you got to hear this. Like on an unplugged like Ibanez, I think I was playing at that time.
And they're like, "Yeah, it really sounds like something."
Yeah, it's like, wow, very nice. Like, oh, it's like, no, it's supposed to be cool. Like,
Yeah, I remember my grandma being like, "If you play guitar, you're gonna have to sing."
really? Wow.
Yeah, really early on, and me being like, "No, no, no, I'm gonna be a guitar player."
Yeah, I
Look at me
never
now.
thought of that. I never dreamed of like singing ever until even, and I've said this to you before, but even starting the band, it was like, all right, fine. I'm writing the songs because no one else is gonna. So not no shade towards them or anything, but it was like my idea, and I was like, I'll write
Mhm.
the I'll write the songs, and I'll sing them for now until we find a real singer, and then it was just like
Yeah,
no. Well, it wasn't like I was like no, I'm gonna do it. It was just we never looked any further, really. Not that
yeah,
it was like, oh, I was so good. It's like I basically we had the worst PA system. Well, you know this. It's just kind of funny reminiscing and talking about it. It's like having the terrible PA system that like could not go loud enough to like be able to really hear the vocals over everything else. So I was like, all right, this is nice and comfy. No one could even hear me really that
yeah.
well. Like they'll just see that I'm like, they'll be able to hear a little bit of a faint voice and they'll assume, they'll
Yeah, they can
get
hear the
it. They'll
melody.
they'll
They can
they'll,
hear the
they'll get it.
melody.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they'll be able to connect the dots and like assume where I'm going with this, and they'll get it. Meanwhile, every single person was like, "I can't hear you."
yeah. I used to get that all the time too with polka dot dress, like, and it was kind of like I wanted like in my head at least I was like I want the vocals to be like in the middle of the music. I don't want because this is how I conceptualized it at least. I was like in most songs it always feels like the vocals are like really like on top of everything else.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was like, I want my vocals to be like in it. in it. I want it to be part of the music.
Yeah.
So I would like just fucking crank the reverb up and like sing like super high. So it was like kind of with the guitar almost.
Yeah.
And but you couldn't really hear the lyrics very well, and like especially early on. It was just like me kind of like yapping, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
definitely wanted. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, I mean that's basically it. Yeah, it's just interesting. It's like, it was like a mixture of like uh, being a little bit like self conscious and like, but also like a little bit of artistic, view on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like using a yeah, basically for me, I mean, I'm not trying to say this is exactly what you did too, but you pretty much described what I did in a way. Like it was basically like, all right, I want to basically muffle my vocals to the point where like people can't really hear it that perfectly because I'm self-conscious. So let me do it in a way where it's like, no, 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 I'm not muffling it. I'm just like putting gain on it and I'm like putting
Yeah,
reverb on it. So it's like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's filling out the space better, man. Like
yeah.
meanwhile I was just
Definitely.
like, oh fuck, like I don't know. I'm self-conscious about these lyrics. I don't know. My voice sucks. I don't want anyone to hear it that well, you know.
Yeah. But then, like, I mean, when I started playing at, like a little bit nicer venues, and they would just, make me sound good, I was
Mm.
like, okay, all right, okay, I'm not against this.
Yeah, that's a good
I kind
feeling.
of, I kind of had to, sorry, but I kind of had to like learn how to sing a little bit differently because when I was first singing with a rock band, I was singing through like guitar amps mostly because that's just what we had.
Yeah.
And you have to kind of like you have to like push your voice out a lot more to like hear it even.
Yeah.
When you bump up a guitar amp with a microphone, it's like hard.
Yeah.
So like the way that I sung was very very different when I first started singing with the band to like where I am now, particularly, but to even where I was a little bit before.
Which band was that when you were doing that?
Polka dot dress.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Like I felt like I've always felt like I was singing from like my neck. Like I had to like push out all the words so that they would, so I could
Oh,
hear myself,
okay.
so I
Yeah.
could hear myself at all.
Yeah.
And then the first few times I played shows with like a decent PA, I was like, oh, like I'm like, this set doesn't sound good, so I had to like change kind of the way that I would sing.
Yeah.
Because through like a clear PA system, it doesn't work necessarily the same exact way.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Remember that one time where we got we had my old band and you
Yeah.
were there and there were like some other people there too. Uh Matt B came and he brought some people and it was at the was it at the jam space that we used to go to or was this a different place? I think we were at the jam space that we always used to go to together, but this time we got like a totally different room with totally different equipment and
Okay, yeah.
we were playing and like Ryan was
Kevin was
there. Yeah, exactly.
Ryan was there.
Yeah, playing drums and everything. And we
I don't remember
recorded
Ryan
and
being there.
I was being so insufferable. I was just like, but everybody agreed like, well, not really, but like me and Ryan agreed like the equipment just sounded like the I don't know, the sound was just so off. Like everything sounded like it sounded like the room was made out of like metal and everything was just
Uh,
bouncing off the metal like really tingy and like really like just like oh, like it hurts your ears almost like and I was just
yeah.
like the whole time I was like I can't do this. I can't do this. I was like I hate the way I sound. This sucks. Like
Yeah. A lot
and
of practice
yeah.
spaces are kind of a little bit like that. Like a little bit like that, depending on where you go. Where it's like frustratingly like noisy.
Yeah.
But was it the one by where I lived?
I think it might I think it was. I mean, I don't think we ever went to another place, right? I mean,
Well, there was one. I don't know if we've. I feel like we must have gone there at least once. Maybe not though. But there was one that was like a train right away that I used to go to all the time.
hmm.
And then there was the one that was like right by like like a little bit less than a 10-minute walk away from my apartment.
Yeah. I think it was at that place.
I don't really remember. I don't remember Ryan ever being there at the same time as me, but maybe I'm just not
He
remembering that.
definitely was, yeah, because I remember I mean, actually, I don't know. I guess there's a chance you weren't there.
And maybe I met up later or something.
Yeah, I guess. No, you would have been there.
Because I remember there was the one time that it was like me, you, and like Kevin, and a few other people, and we were just like basically just jammed the whole time. We didn't play any of our own songs. We just like made up new stuff the whole
Yeah, I
time for
remember
like
that. I
and I have
definitely,
like
yes, I remember that.
recordings from that I remember well.
Yeah.
But
But no, yeah, one time, I know for a fact I was at a jam space thing with, yeah, all of them, and we recorded it and stuff, and I have the recordings, and they sound like, honestly, they don't sound as bad as I felt at the time, but like, it was definitely not ideal. And then, yeah, because I remember I saved everything as like, whatever song title, from hell. Like everything was like from hell, because like it sounded like it was from coming out of hell. you know.
if you could find those, I would love to hear them again.
Yeah,
Send-
I should be able to find them pretty quick. They're on my other computer, but yeah.
oh, cool. Yeah, because I still have the recordings from the time that I was just talking about, and man, there's been so many jam sessions that have happened. It's so fun.
Yeah.
That's really got to be one of my favorite things ever. Just like no plan, no songs, just like go in there and just like kind of start playing stuff. It's so fun for me.
The most fun moments with that were, well, they were all great, but like the thing that comes to my mind right now is a couple times we were in the jam room, which is, the room in my old room, basically, kind of, not bedroom, but like the only other room. And, yeah, we just, like, oh, it was during that period where, it was like tradition for you to like come over, and like every time we would have like Cuddy Sark for some
Yeah,
reason.
boy. Yeah.
And yeah, we were just like hanging out, do it like sipping on that, just jamming for like hours, like, and like it was like late into the night. I think we were playing until like at least like 3 in the morning, and uh, we played. That was the night that we were like we would record ourselves like playing drums, and then like play that track through the PA, and then we would both just jam over it on guitar and
Oh,
vocals and
yeah.
stuff. Like that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, was that the same night? I think that was the night that we made a couple of the early Pinemen recordings.
Probably, yeah. I mean,
Well, at least definitely in the same time frame.
yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, same time frame, definitely.
Definitely, yeah.
Like we had this
That
one.
was really fun.
Yeah, sometimes you know how it's funny. I was gonna say this before. You know how you asked if I ever when I make when I write a song, or I don't even know if this is before or after we started doing this, but like it was today though, when you said, when you make a new song, do you just listen to it over and over again, like throughout the day, or
Oh,
like
yeah.
for the next couple days even? And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I even listen to like, I'll listen to like the voice memos on my phone a lot, like
Yeah,
of just like, and like there's a lot of like from that time, like because like, I would record it on my phone randomly, just to get it down, and I don't know, I just have like all that stuff still pretty much like from that. And there's one called like one of the tracks is called 12 or something like that, and I remember clicking on it, like opening it up, like I don't know, at this point it was probably a year ago, but I don't know, I was like 12, okay, what is this, is it like some kind of 12, I don't know, like I don't know, it has numbers, I'm like, is this like some kind of time signature thing or something like that, like, but no, it was just because we were just jamming for 12 minutes on like one idea, and it was like, it was cool though. I don't know. Like,
I used to love doing that. And like, yeah, I don't. I remember there's one funny fucking song that I made with Tim. That is like a half hour long, and it's literally just it's a drum loop, Tim playing bass, and me just stream of conscious just riffing on lyrics.
oh, lyric. Were you playing guitar?
Nope, just bass, drums, and me singing.
Yeah, nice. That's
And
awesome.
it's like a really vibey, like the bass line's like doo doom 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 bam doo doom bing 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 bam boom bam.
Nice.
And I'm just like just going and going and going, and then like the bass will like shift around a little bit and change a little bit, but basically it's just that for like a half hour.
It would be so
It was-
fun to be in person. I mean, it'll happen soon, but
Yeah,
like
definitely.
I'm just so ready for that. I feel like we would be like it would be, you know, it was always fun back then. Don't get me wrong. Of course, it was really fun. It was great. Everything was awesome. But now I just feel like I don't know. Yeah, we've talked about this. Like the feeling of trying to just like be cool and like sound cool and like whatever is just like very much reduced for me, and I feel like I would be able to just like go with it and just like be like just let loose and be free with it and just say stuff, like without worrying. Like, we were just talking before like about how I would, I was afraid, like I was always self-conscious about the lyrics and my voice and stuff like that, but like, and I still am to an extent, but it's not the same. Like it's like, all right, if it sucks, who cares? Like what, like let's just have a good time and like do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Doing it is
Yeah,
like
worrying about it isn't going to do anything.
yeah, and you learn as you go, and you get better. Like I've just been straight up doing it, for a
Yeah.
while, and there's always like you can tell like when you're really doing it and when you're not really doing it, how different like it feels and sounds, and like yeah, practice, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it really is. It's a
Basically.
weird thing
Yeah.
because it's like you're practicing. Yeah, I never thought of it this way before, but it's like, yeah, it's hard to practice like creativity. You know what I mean? Like it sounds weird to even say that, but like,
It is a practice.
yeah, I guess so. It's just,
I mean, like I'm not someone who really buys into the idea that you're either a creative person or you're not a creative person.
yeah,
I think that there's people who early on in their life think that they're a creative person, so then they act like a creative person for most of their life.
right.
I really feel like it's just that simple. And then obviously there's people who are more inclined to like that specifically, like drawing stuff or whatever, or like playing music that,
Yeah.
but I do think that anyone like it can exercise that muscle of creativity and get better at it.
Yeah, it's kind of just like, getting that anyone can be creative if they're like, if they just get, if they just kind of tune into the thing that makes them want to do it, like really. Like I've known people who are, they can't play any instruments or maybe they can play a little bit, but barely and all this, but like, and they don't, it's hard to really connect with them like in terms of like just really like getting like something musical, like just like getting that moment where you're like kind of just blown away by something and it feels like it just all clicks and you're like, oh my god, I need to tell someone about this, like
Yeah.
like they might be like, oh yeah, it sounds really good, you know what I mean, but yet when it comes to like just aesthetic things or whatever, like they're just so in tune with it, you know what I mean, whereas like I might not be in a lot of ways, you know what I mean, like, and I'm not saying I understand music so well, but I'm just saying it's something that like, I could talk about more than, more of a visual thing or something like that, like always, I don't know,
Yeah, but
people just
it's kind of like
are good at stuff if they do it,
yeah, and part of it is like what we've talked about in the past a little bit is like having like that well of information to pull from.
Yeah.
So like talking about like visual stuff, I feel like you haven't really gone through a phase where you were like really into any painters or like aesthetic stuff specifically, So
Right.
it's like if you do go through a phase where that happens, then you'll start knowing what your taste is visually.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Actually,
then you'll go ahead.
it's funny. I saw this thing recently. I forget where I saw it. Actually, it's kind of lame. I think I saw it. Not that whatever, but I don't know. Actually, whatever. I'm gonna sound so stupid.
It's a judgment-free zone, man.
Right. Yeah. It's just I don't know what it's called, what the guy's name was or whatever, but I saw these. I want to find it, but I don't. I feel like it's gonna take me too long to find. But I saw these paintings from like this Italian painter. Like they're just so that old style. Like what is it? That Michelangelo painting, I think it is, where like
Oh,
they
okay.
like are about to like touch. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like that style where it's just like those people that are like that old style. I don't know the
Yeah.
terminology or whatever, but
Like Renaissance period, probably.
yeah. Oh
Maybe the
man,
Baroque period.
like I don't know how I would even look it up and find this, but I don't know. There was something about it, like the the style of the it was like people, you know what I mean? Like it was the paintings were all of just like people, and you could see their faces and stuff like that, and it was just so like I don't know. It just like it was one of the rare things that uh not rare. It's just like I don't like you said I don't have experience. Like I don't look at paintings or any or works of painters in any way like where I'm like ooh like let me think about this and engage with it. Not because I'm not interested, but because it just never I don't know. It's just, like I'm like, "Oh, I don't do that." So, not that I consciously think this, but like it's just not something that I would like feel like I'm a part of, but it's like
Hmm.
it's cool. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say here. Uh,
No, I know exactly where you're coming from.
yeah. Uh, I wish I could find it because it would be. I feel like you would instantly get what I mean, but like, it's funny. I actually, that's kind of funny. I just looked it up in the best way that I could to try to find it, and the first result that came up was it just says sad men in classic art. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that kind of does describe the way that the facial expressions looked at least. I don't know, it just looked cool.
Sad men.
What the hell was the guy's name? I don't know. Oh well, Caravaggio? No, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I feel kind of.
Did you say Caravaggio?
Oh yeah, I did, but
Yeah,
I don't know if that was it. But
he's. I'm pretty sure he's from the Baroque period, and he is good, very good.
yeah, I don't know. I feel self conscious talking about this
Yeah.
because I
I'm
don't
pretty
know
sure
anything.
Caravaggio has like really dark paintings. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, this.
Like basically black backgrounds. Yeah,
Yeah, I
his
don't
stuff is super cool.
think this is what I was talking about, but it's definitely like very similar. But I mean, this is based off what I typed in. I don't know. It just made me. I don't know. It just
Yeah,
kind of jumped out to
I
me a
mean,
little bit, but
yeah, I'm not super well versed in like art history. I've taken a art history class in college, and it was the Baroque period, and Caravaggio was talked about a lot, so I'm familiar with his work a little bit.
oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, art history. I mean, honestly, like I'm not like super interested in just art history. Period. I get really interested in certain artists.
Yeah.
I guess that is technically art history, but like learning it through the lens of like as if it's like as if it's something that can just be boxed and sold. It's very strange to me with art.
The history itself, or what do you
Or
mean?
like yeah, you go like this is this period.
Oh, right. Okay.
This is what they were doing there. Here they are, all of them. Here you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is
You know,
definitely
it
a
feels
weird
weird
thing.
when you talk about. And I mean, we do it now. I mean, there's always like a new scene that like the media wants to put into a box and be like, here, this is like, you know, this is what Brooklyn sounds like. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. You got to make it marketable, and you got to make it easily digestible and consumable, and yeah. How
Yeah.
long? The weird thing is though, how long did? Sorry, I didn't. What were you gonna say?
No, you go first.
How long did those periods last? Like, you talk about like, oh, this artist is from this period. Like, how long did those periods span? Like,
I
right?
think
It was like,
I think they differ in length, but I'll look it up really quick.
yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it was like not just a decade, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I definitely think that as like media has permeated everything, they are much quicker to overturn things. It's more like looking back and trying to categorize everything.
Right. Like the whole, you know,
It was 150 years.
okay, exactly. Like it's so weird that makes it even more absurd to be like,
Yeah.
this is what it was like back then. Just
Yeah.
take my word
And
for it. This is what it was like, you know, like I mean, what
yeah.
once again, this is a topic where I don't know anything really. Like I'm not trying to like act like I'm the, you know, I know more than the people who define it. You know, I don't know anything,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying it's a weird concept.
Disclaimer.
Yeah,
We're
disclaimer,
not
exactly.
yeah.
Disclaimer, I'm a moron. Just basically allow that to exist for the entire everything I say. That's the disclaimer.
Yeah. But I mean, like the Baroque period, it includes like the music of the time and like the philosophy of the time. It's like it's kind of all it's same with Renaissance and like the Enlightenment period. It's like it's all like take the whole thing, all the arts from that time, and just here you go.
Yeah, but I love it. That kind of makes me that reminds me of like a whole other concept. Like so where I'm going with this kind of is like, you know, the idea like pretty much anyone can say like all right, the 90s, you know, and even this is probably a generalization that's like not exactly obviously not completely thorough or anything like that, but like, you know, the 90s was very like, you know, it was like angsty and like, you know, you know, like, and
Yeah.
then like kind of rebellious, and like the 80s was very like future, we're in the future, kind of like synth, like, you know, electronic synth, you know, we're using synthesizers now and all this, and then like, you know, whatever, I'm just being general with this, but
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, and then like obviously the 50s was the whole like, ooh, we're getting a little crazy by, you know, doing some Buddy Holly. Whoa, like, watch, lock up your daughters. Oh my God, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, and obviously that applies to every decade. Generally, that's how they describe it. You know, which is not always 100% accurate, but you know what I'm saying. But like,
I mean, but it's funny too because sorry to just interject for a
no, no,
second.
no, no.
All of those things is just like the youth were rebellious.
Yeah, right. It's like,
It's,
yeah, right. It's so true.
and they were rebelling in the confines of like the political system and like the cultural system at the time. Whatever the norm was, they were rebelling against it. So like, and honestly, I think with the '80s as well. Like, think about what the '80s outside of like disco, or I mean, outside of like new wave music. I guess is because of where you're kind of going with it.
Yeah, but even
You
some
know,
of the new wave music was like alternative. Like it was like a counterculture type thing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. So, and but it's like every decade is like a direct response, basically, to the previous decade. So like the '60s is like to really boil it down is like the '60s is like weed and psychedelics,
yeah.
and then the '70s is like, you know, maybe a little bit of meth.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. I mean, I
It's like
that's not where I thought that was gonna go. It's like
well, but I
the
do know
'70s music scene equals a little mess. Like,
well,
no, I'm kidding. I don't mean to.
it's
I
a
know that's
huge
not what you
boil
meant.
down, but like it was like people were like bored of hippie culture and they wanted like a more kind of aggressive
Yeah. And then
or
like
like
punk started and stuff like that at the end of it,
yeah
and then I think the '80s was in a big way like obviously it was kind of like because it's weird when you think about like punk music. Obviously, this is kind of like a you know whatever. I'm not trying to. I don't know. It just feels weird to say this because like people are so like weird about like talking about punk music. You know what I mean? I don't know. Some people get weird about it, but like, it kind of feels like. Well, it doesn't kind of feel like this. It totally feels like that style. Like we take it for granted now so much. Like think about like even the most like weird bands. Well, maybe not the most weird. Like I don't know what was popular, you know, like Led Zeppelin, like you know, whatever. Just like rock bands, like Led Zeppelin, Pink
yeah
Floyd, you know, all that stuff.
67 you talking about '70s
Yeah, like before punk, like pretty much leading up to it.
oh gotcha
And it's like nowadays that whole concept of like that songwriting structure, even though at the time it was like very different and like obviously, you know, people haven't heard it really before besides like, you know, proto, you know, whatever bands that like led up to it. It's like nowadays we just take that for granted. Like not that not in a bad way. I just mean like, I don't know. It's like you would think like, oh, that's just like a little era that happened, and like you don't see people walking around wearing like whatever the way that the Sex Pistols dressed in their early days, but like obviously they were a product also. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it's
Isn't that so wild when you think about stuff like that?
yeah. I saw this documentary and it was like really exposed a lot, and it was a weird thing because like my approach to that stuff is like I think it's kind of ridiculous, the whole idea of like whatever. Obviously this is not exactly a hot take. I think most people would agree with this general idea that like people, it's like kind of like been repeated a lot, like the idea that like, oh, that's not real punk. It's like, bro, like
Yeah.
that's so antithetical to the idea of like what you're saying
Yeah.
is so just ass backwards. You know what I mean? Like, you're basically saying like, no, you don't fit in with us, so you better conform. You know what I mean? Obviously, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like it's not exactly a hot take. People talk about this. I'm not trying to say like I'm the first person to ever think about this or anything like that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's just weird how much it like even like okay, you listen to like I don't know, what's like the most random band that's like you would never consider like to be these like outsider type punk band. Like one of the things that comes to mind is like am I thinking of the right band? Third Eye Blind? I know
Okay.
that exists.
That's a band.
Are their songs, do they sing that song that's like
Superman is what I think of when I hear that, but that could be completely wrong.
you're right. I'm thinking of someone
Okay.
else. Or wait, no. You're thinking of Three Doors Down. Three Doors
Ah.
Down. Third Eye Blind is the one that does. Oh my God, what are their songs? It's like, I wish you would step back from that ledge, or whatever, right? Like,
Okay.
I think they have
Okay.
that song. I think they have the song that's like, oh my God, how does it go? Do-do-do, 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 do-do-do. And then I'm pretty sure that you want something more. How's it gonna be? You know that song?
No.
Sorry, I'm like,
Nope.
you don't know that song? It's like, how's it gonna be when you something? Yeah, how's it gonna be? You don't know that song at all?
Vague.
Okay,
Vague.
whatever.
Remember.
Anyway, my point is, even I'm just saying the structure of the songs are very like, it's the most like manufactured like I kind of said this before, but like easily digestible version of that style. You know what I mean? Before that,
Oh
like,
yeah.
you had like, and I'm not, but before that, you had like, I don't know, like think about like Leonard Skinner or like a Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin song or like think about like Black Sabbath or anything else. Like, it's kind of like the songwriting was completely different. Like, there was like, and then it became like just like hard and fast, just hitting you with it right off the bat. Boom, like 2.5 minutes and we're done, or 3 minutes and we're done. Like,
The way that I look at it was like, to me at least, it seems like that's how songs were written. Like
okay.
you mentioned the 50s, like early rock music.
Yeah.
I feel like it was very simple, cut and dry, like first chorus, maybe a bridge,
Yeah.
and then like the 60s happen and everyone's like, oh, wait a second, we could make like 12-minute songs and it's fine.
Yeah.
And then I think that the pushback from like later, they were like, nah, maybe it's better to have shorter songs too, maybe something like that. Like it was like especially with punk music comparatively to like more like psychedelic music, it was like a more like, this is like a more brash, like hard hitting quick thing that happened. That's why I said meth before.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
you think about like Motorhead.
Yeah.
It's like that's like a direct response to the 60s basically.
What makes you say that though? Not that I'm disagreeing. It's just
I don't know. That's kind of how it always like. I think I might have like. I don't know. Over time, I've developed this point of view that like, well, you even think about like later in the later 60s period, a lot of like of the cool people
Yeah.
like hated like the hippie movement.
Right. Yeah. No. Definitely.
So like, so what do you do? You know, if you're a musician, right, and you're cooler than the hippies, you want to do something that's completely flips it on its head and like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. I definitely know what you're saying. I'm actually like the thing I'm caught up on is like, it's actually funny how you're right. Like with the, and it seems so obvious, but yeah, like at the end of the day, like think about like even the Beatles, like obviously like the most whatever the Beatles, like their songs were in that same format, for the most part. Like they would be
Oh
very
yeah, especially the
early. I mean, or like even
yeah.
early to middle ish area, like before Sergeant Pepper or before like Revolver. Or
Hmm.
even Rubber Soul, I guess. Like I don't know, but well, actually, I don't remember which came out first. I think Rubber Soul came out before Revolver, but I could be wrong about that. I don't know. But anyway, like before that, like uh, yeah, the songs were just the most like they were just straightforward pop songs, right? Whatever, like,
Yeah.
but and yeah, and like no, I guess you're right. I guess it just kind of brought back that. I don't think they were doing it with the intention of being like, let's bring it back to the 50s, late 50s, early 60s style, like, or anything like
Yeah.
that, but like
I think
maybe
it
I
was
don't
more.
know.
I think it was more like just fuck that thing specifically.
Yeah, right, probably
Yeah.
more like that, but yeah, it's like
And I
it's
mean, even like a lot of early punk music, it's like there isn't a huge difference, like musically at least, between parts of songs and stuff like that. You know, it's like there's like a wide range, almost like purposefully.
yeah,
Plus,
yeah,
like I mean, obviously, like a lot of the you know the idea of like early punk music is like it's just some people, just some like artistic people. They don't even really know how to play their guitar that good.
yeah, right,
They're just going up there and just smashing it around and yelling. Sick.
yeah, but
They don't even care about music.
right, they don't even care. They just devoted their life to it,
Yeah. They're just trying to get laid, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's like, yeah, because another part of it is the idea that like that's why, and this is another thing that's pretty, a lot of people realize this, but with like the Misfits, I feel like that's why they worked out so well, where it's like it's literally just like punk music in the style of like late 50s rock
Yeah.
and roll, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, at least the Danzig stuff, but yeah, it is weird how it like how much overlap I guess there is there, because even like the instruments in that, it just sounds like a version of, I mean, it literally just sounds like Elvis with sometimes because I know they like I think I've read something before where people have described it this way. I'm definitely, obviously I've heard people say this before, but yeah, it's like it's weird how much like it just fits with that style. Like it could be just one of those songs, but it's what? Wait, sorry, are you like laughing at me?
I was laughing at Cheyenne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. Like the Misfits do a really cool job of like, and I don't know if they are the first, but like the horror theme that like started a whole fucking subgenre of like punk music where
Yeah,
it's like
that's a weird concept too.
horror punk, like
Yeah, like you're
and then
wearing a
like
costume basically. Like, but then again, come on. Like, I mean, like we just said about
yeah,
the
but
Sex Pistols, they were wearing a costume. Let's be real.
straight up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say something before about the Sex Pistols. I remember hearing some controversy around like who created like the punk aesthetic, and
Okay.
like it's like a lot of people say the Sex Pistols, but then supposedly it was actually Richard Hell who came up with this.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I know that album cover. He's got like the ripped
Yeah,
up shirt and stuff like that,
yeah,
right? With the spiky
yeah,
hair.
yeah. And who the fuck knows? I mean, you think about like I remember watching this thing about people like coming up with a very similar thing at the same time. Like even like going like even like the idea of like the light bulb and stuff. Like a lot of things like
Yeah.
happen where there's like two people who think of a very similar thing at the same time, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's not random. I don't think that like new things happen culturally that like everyone's just also ready for.
Yeah, yeah, because I
You
mean, you
know?
could even say that with the '90s. I mean, but that actually kind of goes into what I was gonna, my first thought in reaction to what you just said. But sorry, I don't mean to. If you wanted to say more, go ahead.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like even like nowadays, like what do you feel like is the big like cultural movements? Because I'll say what I think first. It's like I feel like there's a general movement towards like spirituality. Like nowadays,
Yeah.
like it seems like a lot of like it's like cool to like get into spirituality and like cool to like be healthy again. Like I feel like
Oh
that's like
yeah.
the fucking back and forth between it's like it's either cool to like just like fucking do it hard, do life really hard
Yeah.
for like a young person, or it's like really cool to like, you know, you know, think spiritually and like like whatever.
Yeah, definitely. I
You know,
mean,
it's like same thing for the fucking 60s to 70s to 80s to 90s to
yeah, definitely. And I would agree with that. I mean, I think even if not, definitely the spirituality thing is, from what I see, it's a cool, you know, thing to be involved with. I'm not saying like people just do it to be cool, like they're faking it or
yeah.
whatever. Obviously, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are really into it, and that's cool. I think it's a good thing. I think if you're gonna have a fad, if you want to call it that, like
Yeah.
that's a good one to have. I mean, what's bad about people trying to, you know, be less, whatever, like less involved with like being a consumer and just materialism and just, that rat race of grinding out the,
Yeah, big time.
your
But then
career and stuff,
obviously what happens is that, you know, capitalism at play.
Oh,
Gotta
yeah.
gotta market those fucking meditation apps.
Oh my God, yeah. I love that. I actually saw something about that and it was like it made me laugh. It was like they were talking about how this one meditation app, I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's the one, like people know about it. I don't know. I think it's called
Uh,
Headspace.
yes, that's what I was
And
gonna say.
they it was funny cuz they were just breaking it down in like a way that was like very uncharitable to them and rightfully so in a lot of ways. They made good points. It was like they use that model of try 1 month free, you know
Yeah, and then
so
you
it,
forget to unsubscribe, and then next
right,
thing you
or
know,
if you don't forget, like the way they described it was like, okay, and I forget who this was, I mean whatever, but they were basically saying like you okay, the type of people that are downloading a meditation app are people who are, they want to find some level of peace because, assuming, you can assume that maybe they, you know, don't already feel
yeah,
that naturally. You know what I mean? Like some guy who's like completely content with every aspect of his life is probably not going to be like, I need to be present. I need to, you know what I mean? Like, so it's people who might have a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of, commitment problems, or maybe, or, just general things
yeah,
that might be problematic for them in their day to day life or whatever. And then you hit them with this thing of like, the business model is like, using this daily is going to make your life better. And if you don't do it, and I'm not saying
yeah,
they're saying this, but just as someone who's gone through that cycle a lot, of like worrying about this type of stuff and like feeling inadequate or like I'm not doing the right thing or anything like that. It's like
yeah,
you I can totally understand what the guy was saying when he was describing it as like, so you do the free trial to try it out because it's going to make your life better because you want to make your life better. And then it's like you get rewarded for like using it multiple days in a row or something like that, you know what I mean? So it's like if you don't use it, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Come on, like get back on the app. Like
yeah.
and
So you better
you
start
got to
feeling bad
fix
about
that life
yourself.
of yours, otherwise your life is going to be fucked if you don't hop on the app again. And it's like, "Oh shit." And now you're like alone in your room, like I'm not, I could just picture
Yeah,
myself alone in my room with my phone in my hand like, "Fuck. I need to meditate. Oh my god. Oh my god." Like, oh, I
I just
can't
need to
cancel
relax. I
it.
need to
I need
relax. I
this.
gotta relax.
I can't cancel the free trial. I need this in my life. But like you're too embarrassed to cancel it. Like, it's like you're too anxious to cancel it. Like and then you feel like
Dear
it's gonna like
God,
lead to bad things, like if
I
you do.
mean, oh,
That's
I
just
mean,
kind
yeah,
of a
but
funny way to put it, but there's truth to it.
yeah, no, 100%. The whole mindfulness thing is really interesting, and like, obviously, I think it's really good to be mindful. I think it's good to like be watching yourself live,
Yeah, there's
really watching
moments,
yourself live.
the moments where it really happens, obviously, I mean, maybe it's not obvious, but I would assume that, I don't know. Actually, I think a lot of people struggle with that. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people struggle with being present and stuff like that and being mindful, really. And, like, myself included. And, but, like, the moments where it happens, like, are so magical, Like, when you can actually just ground yourself completely and be like, I, I don't know, just every time that ever happens to me, it's just a feeling of like, wow, like I am so lucky. Like just
Yeah,
to exist, just to be able to have seen this. Like any little thing, like you can really break it down. I know we're kind of going to hippie territory here, but it's like you really like everything. Like you can find like when you allow it to just I don't know, when you allow yourself to just be aware and like not in the future or in the past or you know uh catastrophizing about the future or getting feeling regret about the past or anything and instead just like exist just for the sake of it, you really do. I mean, it's fucking unbelievable that it's like I mean, we've had many conversations that have gone down this route, and I guess, but it's just like there are green onions growing in a cup right there. Like they're just there. Like there's this like these walls, these wood panels you see behind me, like someone put them there, and they
yeah,
like someone made them. Someone designed them. Someone had the fucking idea to say, let's take like particle board mixed with like a plastic based adhesive and then put like a veneer of like a wood finish over it to make it look like it's wooden. And people
yeah,
said, that's what you should buy. And I'm going to
yeah,
do it. And now I'm in a time capsule of like 1989, like I don't know. It's just a weird thing. Like
yeah,
you can find it's kind of like what we were talking about earlier, not being able to find like something to watch on YouTube. Meanwhile, there's infinite
yeah.
amounts of things. It's like there's infinite amounts of amazing things going on around you at all times. But it's and I know I'm saying it like, come on, man. Like on a random Tuesday, you should be spending on a random Tuesday afternoon, you should be spending your time appreciating the wood grain on your paneling. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like I don't know. It's just it's so hard to stay in that spot where you can appreciate just the existence of things around you and just the fact that you're alive. But I don't know. It's just fucked up. Like it would be amazing if there weren't so many pressures coming from the outside to and from within to
Yeah.
be something else. You know what I mean? You're never good enough. You got to be something else.
Yeah.
It's not
You
right.
can't just be.
Yeah,
Life is beautiful.
it is, but society is not.
Yes, society, man.
We do live in one though.
We definitely live in a society.
I'm sorry.
I feel like that's a good place to wrap it up.
I like what you're thinking. I just looked at the clock and I noticed it's got to be about 2 hours now, right?
Just about. We're like a few seconds short.
Awesome. I am
Yeah.
super happy.
Do you wanna say goodbye and then end with the intro video again?
Yeah, I'll play the intro again.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't really know what to say. I don't know if anyone's ever going to watch this or whatever, but I just want to say this has been really fun to you, Eric. I want to say that. And
Yeah.
if anyone does watch this, I'm absolutely thrilled that you did. And if you've gotten to this point, that's amazing. Sounding like a
Yeah.
typical person who makes YouTube videos right now, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just
It's
being
all-
honest, like really.
Yeah, if you sat here and watched this for 2 hours, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I hope you come back next week and watch it again.
Oh, one more quick disclaimer. I just want to point out that I was not trying to make any like statement that like Third Eye Blind is a punk band or like any kind of a punk band. I was not trying to say that. All I was trying to say is when you compare the structuring of their music to like 70s like classic rock as we call it now, like Queen, or I know they're not, well, they were around in the 70s, but obviously, but like, like I'm not, whatever. I'm just saying it's a different song structure that's more similar to the straightforward punk style. But you pointed out, like, other bands were doing that way before that, and that was
Third Eye Blind is a good example of like a pop rock band.
Exactly. But that's a good point. My point was just that like the style of pop rock is closer to like the straightforward style that is just verse chorus whatever.
Yeah.
Compared to like having like long solos or like reversed solos in like psychedelic music, like you said, whatever. That's kind of like a super tangent, and maybe now was not the right time. But that's been on my mind a little bit, and I don't want to wrap it up without saying that. Yeah. So.
No, I feel you. No, that's cool. And you know what? If you tune in next week, we will probably go into that further and clarify all points.
Yeah, and maybe we'll even have. I don't know. I already feel more. I feel less stressed about doing this stuff. We've never. We've done it before, but it's like this. Like we're on the channel. We got like little stuff going on. With visuals and it's fun. I don't know. I'm excited. So I hope it continues. It will continue, whether or not people want to be part of it. I hope they do. Yeah. But it'll be fun either way. So.
Yeah, but if you see this, tune in next week for another one.
Yeah, and. We usually do it on like a Wednesday, I guess, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Tuesday or Wednesday, middle of the week.
Yeah, today's Thursday. We usually do it on Wednesday, sometimes Tuesday. But, just monitor the channel 24 hours a day for those 3 days, and you should probably catch us. So
you'll see it.
All right.
And if not, watch it after it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Catch those, and okay, I was about to say all the other dumb stuff that people say, but I don't want people to think I'm serious. All right.
Maybe next episode.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
All right.
So this has been amazing. So let's kick it over to the outro. Peace out, everybody.
Thanks for coming. This is the Pinemen.